All right, who that nation? Back at y'all in the episode of No Cap, No Filter Saints. I'm your host, Mully G. Got my special guest back in the building, my recurring guest, my dog B, man. How you feeling, man?
All is well, fam. No complaints on this end.
No complaints on this end, man. We can't say the same for Trevor Penning, bro.
Woo, boy. That boy,
let's go ahead.
that
Let's go ahead on and address the elephant in the room, man. Let's go ahead on and get into it, man. Saints preseason opener. We facing the Arizona Cardinals. We playing our starters for a few series. They resting their starters. So, different approaches by different teams, Offensive line, Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, Olavi, they get out there first series. It's not looking too good, man. What's your thoughts on the first team offense?
I thought it was pathetic, man. To be honest with you, you hear all of these cats that cover the team in Saints camp. You know what I'm saying? And they giving you all these reports and they're telling you how great the offense look. And I never bought into it. I've been on the program now for a couple of times saying the same thing. I'm not buying it because they do this every year. They hype it all up. Oh my God, it looks so amazing. Super Bowl contending looking offense and all this other stuff. And I may be over exaggerating, but that's the way they sell it to us. But it's still a point that, man, I'm not buying it. The games was going to expose them, and that's exactly what happened. First preseason game, first offense get out there, and it's not against Clint Kubiak. Nothing to do with him. It's just the players. They couldn't execute well, and that's typical for the Saints.
Yeah, man. A lot of people were saying that, the offense is going to just be very vanilla, very base, but at the same time, it was still 8 starters going against they second strings, and their defense was very base. So what do you have to say for people like that who just kind of downplayed and said it's just preseason? It was just, regular routes and things of that nature. Plus, Derek Carr said he didn't know who he was going to be throwing to and if he was going to even be playing.
I think it's moronic for anybody to look at it that way. Now, do the preseason games count for anything as far as, longevity of the season? Absolutely not. But there's some things you can tell a lot about preseason. Number one, case in point, it's the idea of because the offenses and the defenses were so vanilla and everything was watered down. I mean, it's a hat on the hat, man on the man. Can you beat the man in front of you? Yes or no? And the answer for the Saints was no a whole lot of the times. Now, defensively, it looked good. But, the whole point of it is offensively, the Saints were getting whipped up front by second and third teamers, man. That's not – I'm not going to sit down and tell anybody that's an okay thing for me to watch Trevor Penning get basically bull rushed by a linebacker on his ass. I'm sorry. I can't sell it no other way but how it was. He looked horrible. And most of the O-line did because Cesar Ruiz on that right side didn't look that much better either. So for me, Derek Carr, another one, didn't look good. So don't tell me, Derek Carr get on my nerves because Derek Carr just seemed like he's always trying to sell something to me. Like, he got that used car salesman in him. He always trying to sell me on how much better things going to be. And like, he's just positive outlook. Man, stop trying to play with me. I understand you can't piss on my leg and tell me it's raining. And you're probably going to get your ass kicked for trying it. Like, I'm not going for it no more. So you're not going to sell that one to me. I'm not buying it no more, man. Derek Carr told me he didn't know who he was going to throw the ball to. Obviously, you couldn't throw the ball from me to you because, I mean, that's what it was. I'm sorry, I'm not buying that. And it seemed like you're not going to tell me Spencer Rattler knew who he was throwing the ball to. Jake Hayne ain't know who he was throwing the ball to, and both of them did better than Derek Carr. That dude got so many excuses and always coming across as fake.
Yeah, man. You say used car salesman. I kind of have politician vibes. Like, to me, that boy,
Yeah.
him and the Saints may be best of friends. But, yeah, man, like Derek Carr, bro, like, even last year he was saying that, oh, yeah, man, I had to adjust to a new city. I had to go find a school for my kids and all this and all that. As if Baker Mayfield ain't had to do the same thing. As if Matt Stafford ain't had to do the same thing when we went to the Rams. Like, this is the NFL. Like, you know what you in for. Everybody got like almost the same thing going. At the end of the day, is you gonna go show up and play, or is you gonna have an excuse ready in your back pocket?
That's typical for him, though. It's always an excuse. And that's the problem. It's always somebody else's fault. With him and DA, it's never Derek Carr, it's never DA. It's always everybody else. And that's exactly why both of them got ran out of the Raiders organization.
Yeah. All right, so when it comes to Penning, at this point, it's like I say the best thing we could do is just like wait for a team that has maybe a couple of good tackles and they just get let go, and we just hope our scouting team could just sort out the ones that we think could just come up in here and add some depth.
I think that's the only course of action they can take. Excuse me 1 second, bro. I'm sorry. Oh, man. Appreciate it. Sorry about that, bro. Yeah, that's the only course of action they can take right now, man. It's the idea of there's nobody that they can trade for because everybody needs their offensive lineman. So you might have to wait till somebody gets cut.
Yeah, well, when it comes to the Clint Kubiak, a lot of I think I heard Dennis Allen saying, yeah, they might gonna have to go with an approach from him being from the sidelines up to the skybox. Like, was he on the sidelines for that game? And is he more comfortable in the skybox?
No, he was actually in a press box, but I
Okay,
think they're trying to figure it out exactly what's going to work better. I think Derek wants somebody on the sideline because he needs somebody to say, what happened just now whenever he throw an intercept to the other team and he's telling me, that's a good play.
okay. Do you
But
think
I
that?
think, no, go ahead, fam. Go ahead.
Do you think coaches that prefer to be in the press box, you think that have any correlation to them having a translation to be a good head coach?
Good Lord. What the hell? Excuse me. Oh, Lord. I'm choking. My bad, fam. Excuse me. Pardon me, audience, man. Forgive me, bro. Derek Carr and the Saints got me choking. They're trying to kill me, bro. Oh, I'm sorry about that. That water got me, though.
You must be mimicking them because that's all it is choke artists, bro.
I'm trying to tell you, man. Okay, my apologies again to the audience. I apologize, man. But I'm sorry. Ask the question again, fam. Lord.
I was wondering, like, do you think that has any correlation to them not being like head coach material? If a coordinator would rather be in the press box, or you don't think that got anything to do with anything? Because I'm just
Nah,
wondering.
not at all. It's a comfort thing with them. It's a comfort thing. I think some people rather be up top so they can have almost like a bird's eye view, and some people would rather be on the field so they can get a feel for what's going on. So I really just think it's a comfort level thing with them. It doesn't really matter how you do it. I mean, to be honest with you, if he's on the sidelines, I'm not sure if the game is called any differently versus if he was been in the press box, and vice versa. Excuse me, that water still got me. But yeah, bro, I think quite honestly, man. I think Clint Kubiak is going to be fine no matter where he's calling players from. It's just a matter of execution at this point. Can the Saints do it or can they not do it? And as of right now, we see who can and can't.
Yeah. And a lot of people feel like, well, we could get the ball out real quick and all that once we start really get into our playbook bag or whatever. But what you like they say, what you gonna do when it's 3rd and 9 and you have to pass the ball? Like you can't run, you can't really do any type of trick plays. These guys got to get downfield, and it's not too much quick passes you could do unless you just got some Yak Kings on your team, which unproven that we have right now. So what about when it's like 3rd and long?
I don't think the excuses are gonna go over very well because at some point you're gonna run out of excuses and you're gonna run out of people to blame. And I think that time for Derek Carr and Dennis Allen both is getting very short. For me, it's an idea of what do you do when pressure is on? And that's the name of the game right now. When the pressure is on, it seems like Derek Carr and Dennis Allen both choke when the game is on the line. And that's just what they've been in their entire careers. Derek Carr's going to blame it on, well, this is my 8th offensive coordinator in 11 years that I've been around. Dennis Allen going to tell you everything was bad in Oakland, but now you got the Saints and they're giving you everything you want. So at what point do you stop blaming everybody else for your inept abilities? And for me right now, I'm fed up. I saw a rookie quarterback come into the game and ignite not only the team, but the fan base. And I mean, what more do you need to see at this point?
Yeah. Yeah, and a lot of people are comparing Jake and Snake stats or whatever, but when it comes to Jake stats, I think he did pretty good. But if you just take away that bomb that A.T. Perry just got past the defense on, his stats probably not even looking all that good. They're looking at the QB yard, they're looking at the yardage, but you take away that one bomb, that's not all that high.
Yeah, well, look, I'm gonna be honest, man. Look, Jake didn't play bad. He had a solid game. Of course, the bomb that he threw to A.T. Perry does help help how it looks, but you can say that in any game. You know what I'm saying? Like Jameis had a game when he was with the Saints where he didn't. I think he threw for like 140 yards total, but he had 5 touchdowns. So it really doesn't matter how you get it done. You just get it done. The bottom line is when I watch Jake play, I see a backup. I see somebody that can be a quality backup that can come in, maybe win you a game or two while your starter's down for whatever reason. But when I watch Spencer play, I see game changer. I see franchise changer. I mean, I see a dude that, again, can ignite and spark a fan base that's basically giving up on the team. And that's what he's done so far. There's a difference in the way he talks. There's a difference in the way he walks. There's a difference in the way he leads. It's when you watch Spencer Rattler play, you can see it. It jumps off at the screen on you. When you watch Jake play, you say, you know what? That's a good play for a guy, in that realm. I don't see that with Spencer. And, I've been getting into it all day with one little guy, man, about how Spencer Rattler is a 5th round pick. the problem is, if for a 5th round pick, he's already caught up to a 4th round pick, and he's already caught up to his starting quarterback in Derek Carr. So if he's a 5th round pick and he's playing like this now, imagine once he gets some NFL seasoning on him.
Hmm. What's your NFL comparison if Jake pans out? Like, what you think his ceiling can be?
If Jake pans out,
And I
that's a
ain't even
great
say,
question, man.
and I ain't even say pan out as far as, oh yeah, this he's just gonna be awesome. He's gonna be good, but just pan out as far as him being solid and just meeting the expectations what most people view him as. Not the Jake, not the Jake stands out here who just think, oh well, he could be the next Matt Stafford, but to most people, what you think he could be. Like I could see like a Ryan Fitzpatrick. I seen Wolf. He said
You took the name right from me.
yeah, Wolf. He said Gardner Minshew, but
I see both.
Mm-hmm.
I can see both. Ryan Fitzpatrick is definitely a good one, man. Gardner Minshew, guys in that realm, man. I don't see him being, again, I don't see him being a bad player. I just don't see him being a quality starter in the NFL. He's a guy that's going to be able to get you from point A to point B. If you want to have a gap quarterback, bridge quarterback, whatever you call him, he's a dude that can fill in for you for a short time period. But if you watch the Gardner Minshews, if you watch these Ryan Fitzpatrick type of dudes, they don't last long. They don't have whatever it takes to get you to the next level. They can win you a couple of games, but they're not going to bring you to the playoffs, and they're not going to win you playoff games. That's just not it. I mean, for Jake Haener, being Derek Carr would be, I guess, his ceiling. And that's not really a good ceiling to have.
Yeah. What about Snake? Like I always compare him to the young Russell Westbrook. I don't really think it's kind of fair to compare Mahomes because I just feel like Mahomes is just straight out of this world.
Yeah.
But yeah. I can see like a young Russell Wilson.
Yeah, I think Russ is a good comparison for him, man. In fact, if I had to go a step above that, I mean Russ, the Dax, people like that, man. I think he can. I don't think anybody's like Mahomes, so I'm not gonna give nobody that. But if you want to put him in that lower tier of that, I think that's what he could be.
Okay. Yeah, we got like 5 people up in here. If you got any questions for B while we got them, go ahead on and put your questions down in the chat. We're trying to be interactive on this show, so just go ahead on and put any questions down in the chat. Let me go ahead on and get to the first question that Jerry had posted. He said, what happened to Foskey?
He was Foskey. He was exactly what he's always been. I mean, look, those stats at Notre Dame might have been inflated, but because I have a hard time believing the sack master from Notre Dame can't come in and get no push whatsoever in the NFL. So one of the two things, either his stats was extremely inflated at Notre Dame because of the competition that they played, or the Saints took a gamble on what they thought was fool's gold, what was gold and turned out to be fool's gold. Because there's no way possible he's getting no push.
You know who he remind me of? Now that you say that, he remind me of Kikaha.
Yeah, it's very much like that. It's very much like that.
Yeah, man. When it comes to Foskey and Peyton Turner, those are the guys that you hope could just at least can contribute 4, maybe 3 sacks. If they could just contribute that on the season, then we good. But you really depending on the guys like Chase Young to bring that pressure, and you just hoping that Carl Granderson he could just build upon what he did last season. What do you feel about Chase and Brazil and Gay?
I think they played well, man. I think Willie Gay was exactly what he advertised as. I mean, football IQ goes a long way, and that play in which he kind of read the offense before it happened, got into the back, like he showed blitz. That's the crazy thing. He showed he was pressure. He backed off it a little bit. They fell asleep, and he bust straight through the line for the tackle for loss on a running back. So that's exactly what he was supposed to do. He's one of those dudes that's gonna be able to play with his IQ, play with his speed, and I mean he built like a truck, man. I mean the dude is like he ain't no punk out there, man. To be saying like as a linebacker, when he hits you, you gonna feel it. And he's using that speed to go along with it and his football instinct. So he's the total package at linebacker. If you're going to put him out there with DeMario, fine with it. Pete doesn't stay healthy enough, so you can definitely see him getting some snaps out there. But, yeah, I love what I've seen from Willie Gay. As far as Brian Brzee, that spin move was deadly. What he got to learn is you can't do all of that and then not close. You got to get the quarterback on the ground if you're going to do that. And, of course, man, with Chase, I think Chase did what he was supposed to. Rev up the engine little by little until it's time for you to go for week 1, and then we good. Chase could have went out there and got 0 pressure. I just want to see him rev up the engine until it's week 1.
Yeah, man. I think the defense, they played bad. They was going against the backups or whatever, but at the end of the day, from when you just looking at the game tape, when you looking at game speed, I
Yeah.
think you kind of satisfied on what you're seeing from the defense.
Hmm.
There was another guy out there. I think he was a DB. I'm not sure if he was a cornerback or a safety, but his name was I think his name was Peyton or something.
Peyton.
Yeah, his name
Peyton.
was Peyton.
Yeah.
Was he a safety or a corner?
I think he's playing on the outside when I look back at it. But I mean, the dude had some nice plays. He had some real range, and I think somebody, I want to say it might have been PFF Saints, kind of had him as the highest rated player out there, man. So he actually played well, and I think that's a dude that you can kind of count on later on. If he can play special teams and help you out, that's a good depth piece for you to keep on the roster.
Well, yeah, I was trying to see if he was playing safety or not, because if he was playing safety and he was just doing good like that, if he could build upon that and just try to make the team, then people kind of feel less aggravated if Justin Simmons does sign with Atlanta, because right now he's visiting Atlanta, and that just puts Saints Twitter in the turmoil right there.
If Justin Simmons signed with Atlanta, ain't gonna be nothing to calm me down, because I already watched Derek Carr throw a pick six to Jesse Bates and then go run and tell him how great of a play he made. So if Justin Simmons do the same thing after the Saints had him in camp and could have got him, and right now let's be clear, it's not really about the money. The Saints got the money to sign him. It was about the amount of years that Justin Simmons possibly wanted. He looking for a long-term deal. I think the Saints could have cracked him off with a 2-year deal, and that would have been it. You'd have been perfectly fine right there. But it seems like they only want to do 1-year deals because the Saints are in a rebuild. They're just not telling nobody.
Mm. Yeah, man. We got 7 people up in here watching it live. If you got any questions for Bryan, go ahead on and put it down in the chat, and I'll get your question asked for you. We're trying to be interactive on the show while we got them. How do you feel about the special team unit, man? We seen Charlie Smith. The pressure was on him. Spence Rattler, he delivered, getting us down there in field goal range. And, that's the type of situation that you want to see in preseason. These situations where the game is on the line, or, a needed first down has had to be had. Guys in certain situations seeing if they could step up to the plate. How do you feel about Charlie Smith?
I think he did well, man. I think people forget that was his first NFL kick, like first American football kick. He had never done it before. And to go in there, not only with the pressure on, because they iced him first. So for him to go out there, man, knock that kick through for his first NFL kick, that bodes well long term. Now, do I think he's going to supplant Blake Grupe? No, I don't. And I don't think the Saints have to make that move. I think they can still stash him and keep him around, let him build up and keep, until he get his confidence where it should be, to where he's more consistent, and you're good to go. I think Lou Hedley did well with some of his punts as well, man. So I think special teams wise, they played a solid game. Do I think it could be better? Of course I do. But I mean, because this is only week 1 preseason, so we'll see how they do as time goes on. But I mean, I like what I saw thus far.
How do you feel about the new kickoff rule, and how do you feel about the guys that we have returning kicks for us?
I mean, look, the kickoff rule doesn't make sense to me. I understand what they're trying to do, player safety and all that, yada, yada, yada. Man, look, I'm so tired of hearing the NFL talk about player safety when you go into an 18-game schedule, and all kind of, when you're playing these Thursday night football games and stuff like that. I'm not trying to hear nothing about no player safety if you're doing that, because that means you're trying to, you're trying to BS me, and I ain't for that. So for me, I mean, I don't like the kickoff rule. It was created by the Saints, Darren Rizzi, but I'd rather them just play kickoff football. Look, man, if you scared to play football, then stay your ass at home. You know what football is. You know what it's supposed to be. Play the kickoff. Let them go out there and play it. It's a dangerous game. They signed up for it, but that's why you're paying them millions upon millions of dollars to play the game. It ain't for it ain't for the weak.
Well, you mentioned that it's about safety, and you mentioned it's a dangerous game, and they getting paid millions. Jonathan Taylor, he was one of the guys who actually wore the special helmet out there while he was playing. I didn't really see anybody else playing it, but the fact that we have Chris Olave, and he's like a big investment for us, and he has like maybe 2-3 concussions. Do you think it'd be wise for a guy like him to just go ahead on and probably look into that and probably try to wear it himself?
I mean, better safe than sorry before he ends up like Brandon Cooks. Brandon Cooks was a lot like that, small type of receiver, fast and shifty, but those concussions started adding up. He had a long career, and Brandon Cooks has been one of the better receivers in the NFL. But if you can prevent that type of incident from happening, then go for it. I'm not mad if somebody wants to do it. Jonathan Taylor, Chris Olave, or anybody else that wants to go out there and protect themselves, go for it. But for me, I mean, I know I love football for what it was.
Right. What happened to the game that I love?
Yeah, that type.
Yeah, man. So when it comes to the tight end position, man, what do you feel about Darren Hoker? Like, I seen him catching a few passes. He was hustling when he got the ball and turned the ball upfield and got some yak. Like, how do you feel about that guy now that you've seen some first preseason action with him?
I mean, I think he did well, man, for his first preseason action. I think it's going to be the same thing. It's not going to be his ability to catch the ball. We know he can do that. The question is going to be whether or not he's not a tell when he's in a game. If all you can do is catch the ball, then every time you go in a game, they know what you're in a game for. It's a pass play because they're not going to trust you to block. So he can't be a tell. As long as he's not a tell, I don't care if he can barely block, man. As long as he gives some type of effort to where it looks like when he's in a game, he's trying to block somebody. And don't whiff on it. Don't be Trevor Penning out there, but give it a little bit of an effort. Because they're not counting on him to be like, this Rob Gronkowski type of blocker or whatever like that. They're not looking for him to be Shannon Sharp. Just go out there, man, and play your game to the best you can, and then kind of, do what you do best.
Yeah, man. That tight end position, everybody is very interested in it. Jawan Johnson, he's still hurt right now. I don't know when he come back. I haven't even seen him getting back to the sidelines. But it's just a wait and see thing at this point. But what's some other positive that you like from what you've seen in the preseason opener, man?
I like the backup running backs. I like Mims, you know what I'm saying? I like what's the other guy? Robinson, man. James Robinson, both of those guys, man, came in, did fairly well for what it was. Plus, it's the idea of you might as well give them run because Kendre Miller ain't out there. I mean, that's it's really crazy that it's like that. But the only thing I didn't like running back wise, man, Jamal Williams celebrating after a 6-yard run. Come on, bro, relax. Like we ain't going for that. But other than that, man, I'm not mad at really a lot that I saw in the game. I mean, defensively, the Saints look good at times. Offensively, outside of the first unit, I thought the team moved the ball fairly well. They got stuck up at a little time, but you're talking about two backup inexperienced quarterbacks, so I'm not mad at that. I thought the game went smooth. It was exactly what I thought it would be for a first preseason game.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I think the offense was still a little bit too sloppy to me. That first team offense. I think Jake kind of did his thing. Spence, he did his thing. But, when Spence had got in that game, he was making some plays with them legs when the protection had broke down. And that's what you're going to need right now going into this future of this NFL, bro. Like a lot of these quarterbacks, they're just being mobile. And speaking of that, we got Gay. He's going to be doing a lot of spying. Brazil, he's going to be coming up that middle with that spin move. So, when it comes to these mobile quarterbacks, we got Chase, we got Carl. Hopefully, we could nip that in the bud, and we could just stop these quarterbacks from just messing all over us when it comes to the mobile quarterback unit. If you got any questions for B, put it down in the chat below. We're gonna try to get your question asked when you ask it. What's another negative that you've seen that you just didn't like that you think we for sure got to just address besides, of course, Trevor Penning?
You know what, man? It's kind of hard to run it back in my head. I guess if I had to, maybe I didn't like the time management. Like towards the end of the game, especially, bro. I didn't like the time management the way Dennis Allen and them called that game towards the end. It kind of had Spencer. They had to burn at the extra timeout. But again, it's kind of hard to be extremely negative because I do understand this was a first preseason game. You're operating with a lot of inexperienced players out there. Most of your veterans sat. You didn't have you didn't have your usual cast of characters out there. So I mean, it's hard to really be too down on them. But there's some things you can take away from the game that you look at and you're like, what, I don't like that happened. Kind of like again, Derek Carr. Before the game, I said, how crazy would it be if Derek Carr threw a pick in the first preseason game, and lo and behold, he damn near did it. So it's like, come on, bro. Like, you're an 11-year veteran. That's not a move you're supposed to be making. So I mean, really, my problems from the game came in almost the same thing. Derek Carr is a problem for me. Cesar Ruiz is a problem for me, and Trevor Penning is a problem for me.
Yeah, man. And poor Trevor Penning, though, he just trending all over Twitter right now. He all in Bryan Baldninger when he's talking about the plays that's going on and stuff. Like, he just all over Saints Twitter right now, just clip after clip. And every time I see it, I just laugh because I picture him thinking, okay, don't get beat. God damn it. And it's just right.
Bro, when you said that on Twitter, I was cracking up because I was like, I swear to you, it looked like he's really doing that. It looked like he's overthinking it to a point to what? Don't get beat. Damn, I got beat again. And it's like, it's crazy because you can see it. I don't know what the Saints are watching, especially because this is what, if you want to know a negative from the game, here's what I don't like. Post-game Dennis Allen. I can't stand when this man try to play like we stupid. That dude actually said he didn't basically, like, he wasn't hard on Trevor Penning. I'm like, are you serious? Like, how could you not be worried about Trevor Penning after watching him get beat like that? And it's not that he got beaten a game any differently than he gets beaten practice. Because if you watch his practice reps, that's the same way he get beaten practice. So what exactly are you gaining if you're a defensive player like a Chase Young, Cam Jordan, Carl Granderson, or anybody else? What do you gain by going up against Trevor Penning when you already know how to beat him?
Yeah, man. I just think he's in his head, bro. I just think he's like, once you lose the confidence, the talent, and all that, not gonna matter, because once you lose that confidence, like you say, that little linebacker that's very much smaller than you, just gonna overpower you when he's not probably that much stronger than you to begin with. And then once you lose your confidence, all your techniques that you learned is going out the window, because now you just overthinking and just trying to so worry not to mess up. Not to mention you're on the right side now instead of being on your natural left side. But I really feel like that, the Saints had reached on the guy. They looked at the RAS score on him, not to mention the fact that I seen you was talking to somebody on Twitter and they was like, yeah, he didn't even have a good Senior Bowl. They were just going off of what he was doing after the play, like just being ugly and nasty. And I'm like, damn, boy, that was kind of like smart on Trevor Penning. That was his meal ticket to the league. Like, shoot, I know I ain't all that, but let me go ahead on and just try to be nasty. Some coaches gonna like that, and shit, we fell for the beat, boy.
Yeah, well, here's the thing, bro. As time reveals, man, I'm not sure if he's that talented. I think it could be a lot of a little bit of fool's gold in the idea if they loved his aggression and thought that if we can just coach that aggression into a football player, we got us one. Well, here's the problem. When you have a player like Teron Armstead who say, you know what, let me try to help the young buck. And the first thing come out of Teron's mouth is it wasn't one thing wrong. There was like 15 things he was doing wrong. If you're talking about maybe 3 or 4 things, okay, that's correctable. When that man got to double digits, we can stop now. That tells you right there, cut bait, that this ain't gonna work. And he said at least 15.
Yeah. It reminded
Nah,
me. It
nah.
reminded me of that Rams game with Charles Brown.
Yeah. When Sean Payton said, "I seen enough."
I seen enough. No, I remember that like it was yesterday. But I was like, man, I don't know what we gonna do with Drew, boy.
Yeah, that was it. Sean Payton said, "I saw enough," and Charles Brown ain't Charles Brown ain't touched the field after that. Teron got in there, it was a wrap. Or was it Jamon? It might have been Jamon. It was Jamon then.
I think it was Charles Brown. I gotta go back and look at that because I remember I put that on Twitter and somebody had said, "How is this possible?" So it probably was Bush Ride, but I
It
gotta
might
go
have been.
see.
I think it was Bushrod that
But
came in for him.
I gotta go see. But in mind you, Drew Brees, he's cerebral and he get the ball out quick.
Yeah,
He holds on
he'll
to
hold the
it.
ball. Yeah, yeah.
What can we win at? Where can we win at? Like somebody tell me. And I see a lot of people on Saints Twitter. They trying to put all their eggs in all these hopes and all the stars align. If this could go right, if that could go right, I could see us winning 12, 11 games and all that. If Chase Young get 15 sacks, and I'm like, oh boy, y'all just looking in the crates for any type of hope of optimism, bro.
I swear, bro. It's like they going under rugs, trying to get the dirt that was under the rug. They're trying to bring it back to the middle of the floor. I'm like, I don't get it. Look, if Chase Young get 15 sacks, what that means is they gonna have to pay Chase Young. It don't mean that the Saints are winning ball games like that because you can get a whole lot of sacks, and it don't mean nothing if the offense can't score. That just means your defense was on the field a lot.
Yeah, man. Like, stats don't really tell the whole story. Like you gotta break everything into context. But it's like when it comes to the optimistic fans, this how I feel. They optimistic, but you could literally have evidence and call that out. But when somebody who's, I would like to say, I ain't gonna say pessimistic, I'm gonna say realistic. Like the evidence is right here. Why we being realistic? Like we showing you the evidence. Like you going on hopes and maybes. We showing you that okay until proven otherwise.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I never get, man. It's like they'll call you a fair weather fan. They'll say you're not a real fan or whatever it may be, man. Look, call me whatever you want. Last time I checked, I ain't get a Super Bowl ring when they got one in 2009. Did you get one?
No.
I was wondering if they got one too, because that's the way they act. Like if you are this type of fan, then you're not a real fan. Well, what the hell make me any different than you? I just don't celebrate mediocrity. I'm not gonna sit there and let them. I'm not gonna watch Trevor Penning get beat and just be like, oh, by golly, wow, he'll get him next time. That ain't me. I'm gonna be like, did y'all see that boy get his ass kicked just now? That's me. And I'm gonna call it like I said. I ain't gonna never sugarcoat it. And that, to be honest with you, a lot of the fans and a large majority of New Orleans media is exactly why the Saints feel like they can do the shit that they do.
Yeah, man. Like when it comes to the media, like I don't expect them to be like Philly or New York, but
they should be. They should be. The reason why the Saints are the way they are, they act like they're some kind of mini mafia that they can tell people whatever they want. We'll pull your credentials if we don't like the way you covering our team. The reason why they like that is because our media is not like Philadelphia. It's not like New York. It's not like LA. It's not like Chicago. That's the reason why the Saints act the way they act. Because our media is too busy trying to kiss their ass and dance around the topic. That's the reason why they don't allow credentials to everybody like that, because they're afraid that if you ask the tough questions that is going to be it's going to be a bad thing. No, it's not a bad thing for me to ask Dennis Allen, how the hell can you watch Trevor Penning get blown up and not say anything? That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing to say, how come you don't hold Derek Carr as accountable as you hold everyone else? That's not a bad thing. That's a good question to ask you, coach.
Yeah. Yeah, I do think that Mike Triplett and Cat Terrell, they kind of be asking them questions that I be wanting to get answered, but
I think Cat definitely will pull a bad straw, and always ask the tough questions. I'm not, that's why I'm not gonna call all of them, like softies, but because they'll ask. But yeah, I mean, I know you can't be combative to a degree. You can't be
yeah,
disrespectful. But I mean, to ask the question, some of them scared to. I'm telling you, I've been around them.
yeah. Now see, one thing I was like, yeah, man, they probably kind of like, trying to protect Derek Carr and Dennis Allen. Mickey Loomis probably don't want a bad image or whatever. But then I started saying like, yeah, last year I was kind of questioning that because after that Giants game, Dennis Allen said, "Oh yeah, we ain't gonna get no question for the quarterback, huh?" Because you know how he came out with his chest pumped. I was like, okay, well,
Yeah,
if that's the case, then I don't know. I'm kind of confused now because now it's like the team is kind of alienating themselves between the fan base and the media now.
yeah. I mean, look, it, I know the media have a tough job. So I've been a part of it, so I understand how the game go. There's a very thin line between asking the tough questions and almost like with in law what they call badgering the witness. You know what I'm saying? It's like you aggressive with them,
Yeah,
and they don't
pity.
like that. Yeah, so, but I get that, but it doesn't mean you have to bow down to them, and that's what the Saints want. They want people to bow down. That's why they pull people media credentials. It's a deterrent. We don't want you challenging us, so we'll pull somebody credentials to show y'all this could happen to you too. Now, some people have found a way to go around that. Some people have not. Some people will ask them the stupidest questions. Some people will ask them, questions that the fans want to hear. It's a part of the game. I just think that if the media got a little bit tougher, the Saints wouldn't be able to get away with a lot of that because they don't do that to the national media. I can guarantee you, if Ian Rappaport asked that question, that's not happening because they
Yeah,
can't.
yeah. That's why I'll be listening to Matt Moscona's show a lot because it be seeming like he sinks media, but he not. He just got a channel and it's successful. And he go on that motherfucker and just state exactly what he thinking. Like he always been saying Derek
Matt,
Carr never
Matt,
got
Matt,
it.
Matt gets a pass because Matt doesn't do what a lot of the beat writers do. Matt don't. You ain't gonna never see Matt, even though he probably can get the press credentials. You ain't gonna never see Matt at a post game press conference asking questions. Matt gonna watch the game from home. He might travel from Baton Rouge to see the game in person, but he ain't gonna never pull up to the back area and go to that media room and ask those questions. That's not Matt. But that's why he get away with a lot of that. And they never gonna take him away because he got the largest program in the South. If you want to talk about I-10 corridor from Lafayette, from Lake Charles all the way to Biloxi, Matt is on there, so he got it. So you can't deny him. You gonna have to put your players on the show.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you we already know how we feel about Jeff Duncan. Did you hear about the Bobby Abel rant when he had that one fan on the show?
Nah, I didn't.
Yeah, man. One fan on the show was just so excited about Spence Rattler and Bobby just went on a rant, boy. Bobby was just like, man, what you talking about Spence Rattler for, man? He probably ain't gonna be all this. Give me a break. I guess he was just saying, man, just worry about Derek Carr. That's what I kind of got from that. But
I made a vow long time ago, long time ago, when I was actually an active member. I said I would never speak bad of Bobby Abel.
mhm.
Never, never, never. No matter what he said or how he did it, I would never speak bad about him. I met him in person, and for all intents and purposes, he was a really good dude. I would ask him questions and stuff like that, man. What you seeing him, Mr. Bobby, blah, 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 this, that, and the third. And he was always very gracious. So because of that, I said I would never speak ill about Bobby Abel. I don't care how crazy and left field he may be. I'm biased on that. So forgive me, because I know people probably looking for me to cut a rant on him. I can't. I got too much respect for him for the way he handled me when I was a pup, trying to just learn my way. And he actually was like, no, let me tell you, this is what I see here. So I can't. No, normally I'm unbiased as it gets. On this one here, I said because I made that vow to myself, I can't break it. Well, what I will say is I don't agree with him.
Oh yeah, a lot of people ain't agree with him, but yeah, man, we just have to see, bro. We play the 49ers next. We don't have a joint practice with them because just like the Texans last year, they feel like a lot of their players are just going down, so they don't really want to go ahead on the risk, the physicality of the joint practice with us. So I think that's kind of hurting us because I think that joint practice is probably just as important as the preseason game itself because you get so many repetitive snaps, and then just get repetitive snaps against people that you're unfamiliar with. How do you feel about the
I love the joint practices, but I think the 49ers might have saved the Saints because, I mean, could you imagine Trevor Penning lining up against Bosa? What that would have been like? Man, Derek Carr might not have made it without the red jersey on. And I still think it's going to happen like that.
Mm.
You don't want, like, you would have been able to gain nothing by allowing Trevor Penning to try to block them dudes from San Francisco. Nothing. He wouldn't have been able to. He couldn't block the second team and third team members of the Arizona Cardinals, who don't really have a pass rush like talking about. It ain't like they one of the upper echelon defenses where you can just name 4-5 of their guys and be like, oh my God, they're coming. That ain't who they is. So for them to be busting Trevor ass like that, the 49ers might have spared the Saints. In fact, to be honest with you, that might have been more along the lines of what it was. Kyle Shanahan might look at the Saints and say, man, we can't learn nothing about practicing against them dudes.
Nah, yeah, that's a good, interesting perspective right there. Like I ain't even think of that because it's like they gonna be good regardless. But you could look at it on the opposite side, like shoot, well they do got a good defense. I would like to see how our offense go against their defense, especially without Ayuk out there probably. So it's still gonna be an interesting week 2 battle. I expect to see better from the Saints. Maybe they're gonna bounce back, but we're gonna have to see, man. We're gonna have to see, bro. Anything else you want to say before I let you go, man?
Yeah, I would say this, bro. For all those who thought the coverage of Spencer Rattler was too much hype and all of that nonsense, or whatever y'all want to call it, if it was too much hype against the Cardinals, don't let him go out there against San Francisco and ball out. Oh, it's gonna be worse. Let that boy go out there and go like 13 or 17 for 2 touchdowns and 189 yards or something like that. Oh, if you thought it was bad, nah. It's only gonna get worse the better he plays. So if he go out there and he do it against San Francisco, you might want to deactivate your social medias, turn your phone off, do whatever you got to do. Because I'm telling you, Saints Twitter is looking for a spark. Spencer Rattler is that spark. If he goes out there and he plays well, it's gonna become insufferable.
Should he roll out there with the second unit before Jake? Do you think?
I think this time he does. I think he deserves to get that shot this time. Although Dennis Allen can always blame it on a hip contusion, a thigh contusion, or whatever the hell he's saying.
Last question before I let you go. If the Saints start off rocky, let's say the first 6 games, 2-4, do you think it's a chance, not even from health reasons, but just performance reasons, that Dennis Allen might just go ahead and pull the trigger on Derek Carr and go ahead on and start Jake?
No,
Snake?
these are things I don't feel. I feel like they're gonna give Trevor Penning every opportunity to fail because he was a Dennis Allen first round pick. I think Derek Carr is gonna get every opportunity to fail because he's Dennis Allen's guy. Dennis Allen created a game plan that did not allow Derek Carr to cross the 50-yard line, and that's the quarterback he went got. There's no chance Derek Carr gets benched unless it's injury. But due to poor play, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I just think that he just went for anything that was familiar and just anybody but Jameis Winston. That's what I think. But I ain't gonna lie, I fell for the cheese too. I was like, he gotta have his guy, and if he have his guy, then we should be good. Derek Carr, he's supposedly smarter than Jameis Winston. He could go to the offensive line and he could be able to just go into 3 or 4 different plays. He's gonna be Drew Brees-esque. Look what Matt Stafford did at the Rams. I was thinking all that. They got my ass, boy. You fooled me one time. Shame on you. Fooled me 2 times.
You and me both, but I would not be fooled again.
Oh no, I gotta wait and see approach. And it's crazy because I posted on Twitter. I said, what does Dennis Allen and Derek Carr have to do for you? For the make them just have more an extension beyond 2024. I said make the playoffs. I said win 2 playoff games, make the NFC Championship, or you just got no faith at all. Majority of people had put no faith at all.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I don't think it's gonna take much for him to get an extension. I think if that man wins 6 games, 7 definitely, but 6 games, and he might, depending on how they win those 6 or how they lose the rest, he might get an extension at 6 games. I could see it happening because that like Mickey, just like Dennis, they don't want to admit their mistakes. They want to keep on compounding on it.
Mm. We're gonna see, man. At the end of the day, this gonna be a ride that I'm just interested to watch. I'm a Saints fan. I'm not gonna purchase no tickets to go to no game for the a Dennis Allen led team, but I will be watching every single game. I will be trying to just see how all this unravel and unfold with Spence Rattler and Derek Carr. I want to see what Clint Kubiak could do with the offense. I want to see what Jake could do if he competing with Snake. I want to see Gay, Chase. I want to see all that. If we get Simmons, it's just going to be interesting, man. So, it's going to be interesting nonetheless, man. But I'm going to go ahead on and let you get up out of here, man. Look like you just got home.
Yeah, brother.
After the 49ers game, bro.
That's what's up, fam. I'll get with you. Salute.
All right, man. All right, yeah, man. Just had B on the show, bro. Go ahead on. He says Mickey is delusional. Yeah, man. A lot of people feel like a lot of the stuff Dennis Allen is doing, it's all from Mickey. A lot of people is blaming Mickey more than anybody. A lot of people feel like it's Derek Carr the problem. A lot of people feel like what his name DA the problem is. Some people feel like who is enabling all this? It's Mickey Loomis. And we talk about the draft picks. We missed on all these draft picks. They saying Mickey Loomis the one who really just making the calls on all these draft picks. He the final decision maker. He got Penning. He got Peyton Turner. He got Davenport. I heard Davenport wasn't even much of Sean Payton pick. I heard he got vetoed. So yeah, man, it's a lot. It's a lot, and the position that Mickey got, he ain't really going nowhere. So all I can hope is if we don't do good this year, he just go ahead on and do what's right for the team and for the future and just get rid of Dennis Allen. Once you get rid of Dennis Allen, then I think everything else could go in place. We're going to have to see how Clint Kubiak get this offense. We're going to have to see if he's a leader amongst men. If he has head coaching traits, then, maybe we hire within and hire Clint Kubiak. Or we just outsource. If Ben Johnson up for head coaching, if he think he a good fit for this team, we're going to try to see what's up with Ben Johnson. Or we can just give a brand new person a chance. When we signed Sean Payton, we gave a brand new person a chance. Was never a head coach. Maybe we go that route again. I don't know, but it's gonna be very interesting to see how this season play out, man. Let's see. Jerry says, so the 49ers are cowards for the joint practice because banged up players. Yeah, Jerry, they trying to take precaution, man. They don't want, a team like that with good players, they don't want to just take that risk. But, I mean, it is what it is. I think joint practice is just as good as preseason games, in my opinion, because you get so many reps. You got Tim Tuff up in here says, who that Tim Tuff? We got Trav 504. Derek Carr gonna throw it straight to the ground. Well, Derek Carr, he care about his stats, as long as he's not throwing them interceptions, he good, Got let's see, we got Jerry, we got Trav, we got Tim Tuff, man. Shout out to all y'all, man. Thanks for watching up the stream, man. Yeah, bro. Coming up on 43 minutes. I'm gonna get up out of here in a little bit. We're just talking about the game, man. Like, we got this 49ers next. I'm trying to see Kendrick Miller. I really want to see him play and get some snaps. I'm not too much pleased with what I seen Jamal Williams, but at the same time, I can't really just talk about Jamal like that if the offensive line not blocking for him, give him any holes. And Jamal Williams, he needs time to rev up through the game. He ain't just gonna knock his socks off and make plays here and there. In spurts, he gotta get worked up because the type of runner he is. But yeah, man. We got this 49ers game coming up, man. It's gonna be very interesting to see if they're going to put Jake first with the second unit or if they're going to put Spencer first with the second unit, because you got to switch these guys up to see, okay, well, if Spencer played good with this third team defense, let's see how he played with the second team defense. So, you got to switch things up to really give a full critique on what you going back and looking at all this film with, And speaking of looking at film, man, shouts out to Debut Tragedies, That guy, he's real good with dissecting film. If you don't really know the game, like the X's and O's, the Brute Tragedy. That's a good person to go watch and look at their channel, man. So shout out to that dude right there, man. He always working hard, bro. But shoot, I'm gonna go ahead on and get up out of here, man. I'm gonna be looking forward to do more streams in the future because preseason is, we got 2 more games left for preseason. Then the season underway. Once the season get underway, man, content just gonna be dropping, bro. Content is just gonna be dropping. I don't just like to make shows every single day because I feel like I'm gonna still say the same stuff I was saying from yesterday. So it ain't gonna be much different. But when stuff gets out to talk about, oh yeah, man, we're gonna have that content coming for y'all, bro. But shoot, man, y'all stay safe and who that, bro? I'm gonna just go ahead on and get up out of here, man. Y'all have a nice night.